Big news stories you need to hear about shaping the future of silver, gold, and the precious metal mining stocks. But we do have a warning from Jim Cramer himself. We'll get to that. But first, let's look at some simple, big reasons why, with silver in particular right now, everybody is so optimistic. I thought this was a great one. This one came from our friend Make Gold Great Again. And he points out something really fascinating. First, I want you to look at that pile of silver. Those look like 100-ounce Canadian silver bars. That's about 15,000 ounces of silver. Okay, but this is the important part, the reason why we can be so optimistic. Make Gold Great Again says we mine this amount of silver every 9.6 minutes. However, we use this amount of silver every 6.8 minutes. That only points, right, to the fact that we've got a massive silver deficit in the world right now. And I want to give some props to our friend Make Gold Great Again. He puts out some really interesting, really simple reasons, but powerful reasons why we can be so optimistic about both the gold and silver markets. And don't forget this, guys. I'm going to hold up this 10-ounce American flag bar from channel sponsor First Mint. Remember, when you look at this silver, we said this yesterday, and it's just as powerful and as true today. There's less of this on the face of the earth today than there was yesterday. If you want to check out First Mint, you can go to their website, firstmint.com. They've got great selection, great prices, free shipping on orders over $299. They're owned by First Majestic Silver. CEO Keith Neumeyer. Everybody in the silver world knows him. It's a company you can trust, and there's a discount code VIPRB. Let's move on to some more. I got to show it to you again, guys. I've got to show this to you one more time because I think it's like one of the most powerful things that we can look at right now in the world of silver. This is the silver demand continues to outpace supply growth. And remember, when it comes to silver, the gold line here is total silver production. Oh, hold on here 1 second. What is happening? Hold on. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know. Hold on, we're having some technical difficulties here. Yep, that's not going to work. All right, so anyhow, let's look at this chart. The gold line right there represents total silver that's provided on an annual basis from both the mining and recycling efforts. That's the total silver supply. As you can see also on this chart, the red line is the mining production. That was peaked in 2016. When we look down here, the bottom, the big dark blue section, that's electronics and electrical uses. That is going up. Okay. Investment is the little bit lighter blue area above that, also going up, and jewelry. The big point here is all three of those sectors, jewelry demand, which takes up almost 20% of all silver demand, physical investment, and electrical, I think could all be heading to the moon. And since we're here, we always like to take a look at what's going on the COMEX, right? The paper silver market, the COMEX and the LBMA, the make-believe, right? The Fantasy Island silver. We get more data from yesterday. Again, astounding silver trade data. This comes from the dude who's also a great contributor to the silver and gold world on X. Yesterday, the silver market traded, we'll highlight this, 410 million paper ounces. Okay, let's go down here and make sure we got the date right. We do. That was Tuesday, the 23rd of September. Guys, think about that. The paper market that's all screwed up. The COMEX and the LBMA, all these relationships, it's the screwiest it's ever been right now. Okay, some people think it might blow up. I'm not going to speculate in that manner, but nonetheless, the paper market traded 400 million ounces. The whole mining sector only produces 800 million per year. That means yesterday was a 50% day. Yes, in one day, they traded the equivalent of 6 months of actual physical silver production. Think about that, okay? Think about that. All right, let's move on to Jim Cramer. Before I do that, I forgot the most important part, to thank you, yes, you, for being down here in the basement with me. It's always a big deal when you come down here. We love to talk about silver, gold, precious metal mining stocks, but you're important, right? If it wasn't for you, this would just be a cold and lonely basement. So thank you so much. I want you to feel like you found a home away from home. There's great people in this community. Please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share it with everybody, including grandma and grandpa. We want everybody to learn about the benefits of silver and gold. Super chat, super thanks. Never expected, always much appreciated. Let's talk about Jim Cramer, right? The Jim Cramer. There's, let's say, varied opinions about Jim Cramer, but he said something about precious metals, a little bit of a warning for us, which makes me laugh. I'll tell you the reasons why here in 1 second, but let's go take a look at what Cramer had to say. He tweeted this a few days ago. He said, oh, let me share it. There it is. He said, quote, "I would like to see a pause in the endless rally of speculation." I'll tell you why we're laughing at that, guys. In things like gold, crypto, and profitless companies. Okay, Jim. So he's saying that there's rampant speculation in gold, and I would imagine he's going to include silver in that as well. This is mainstream media doing it again, right? They've talked down silver and gold for decades and decades. But my question for him would be, what about the rampant speculation in the NASDAQ, the tech stocks that are at like bubble territory like we've never seen, even more of a bubble by any measure, the Great Depression, the tech bubble, anything else, even the S&P 500. And you're going to call out gold, right? And silver, although you didn't say silver, but when you call out gold, you're calling out silver and say that they're having speculation. Give me a break, okay? Give me a break. Sorry, my chair's malfunctioning. We're going to keep going, though. You know, this is a live stream. God only knows what may happen during this. I'm thinking, here's what I think, because these guys are tricky. Maybe he's trying to talk down gold so that him and his buddies can get more into it, okay? And the other thing that Cramer may not realize is that gold and silver and the precious metal mining stocks had been beat down for so long that where they were starting from was so low that where they are now is still continued to be low. So we'll ignore Jim Cramer and let it go at that. What about China? Now we're going to talk about the big reasons why what China is doing, what India is doing is so important to both the gold price and the silver price. Let's start with this one, which comes from, I believe, our friend Niels. Yes, Niels over at Kitco. China's relentless gold accumulation will keep prices in a decade-long uptrend. Hey guys, we're going to come back to this, but I want to talk about this. It may be hard for us to accept this fact, and it's a very good fact, but I'm going to give you the reasons why we could be in for a decade-long or longer, even if it's 5 years, that's okay. Very strong bull market for gold and silver. We are moving into a period very similar to the 1970s. However, the situation we are in now is even more dire than the United States was in the 1970s. So it really can happen. Okay, all the pieces are in place. Stagflation, the Fed's up a creek without a paddle. We're going to talk about that later, about what's going on this week with the Fed. But we are in a situation where we can definitely see returns like we saw during the 1970s. Look, if you've been investing in gold and silver for the last maybe 10, 15, 20 years, you've been through some pretty bad bear markets. But you got to remember, history has shown us, especially when fiat currencies start to encounter difficulties, you can have prolonged bull markets in the precious metals, and we very well may be in for that. Let's go back to Niels and see what he's telling about China, telling us about China. That will be a big, what's the word I'm searching for? Will be a big contributor to that. That's not the word, but what the heck? China's relentless gold accumulation will keep prices in a decade-long uptrend. One paragraph right here. In a report published Monday, commodity analyst at Société Générale noted, that's a big French bank, that the People's Bank of China has been buying significant amounts of gold over the past 3 years. But official reserves remain at extremely low levels compared to the central bank holdings of developed nations. So what they're telling us is they're not stopping. Then they go on to say, while high prices might slow or alter purchase patterns, buying on dips, strategic demand is unlikely to vanish, as the accumulation of gold is a geopolitical move, not just an economic one. In its latest price forecast, the French bank reiterated its call for gold prices to push above 4,000 per ounce, next year. SocGen sees gold prices averaging $4,065 an ounce in the second quarter of 2026. But wait, there's more. And this comes from Zero Hedge, who says, a headline, let's get up there to the headline, who says, gold hits record high as China moves to de-westernize global bullion market. And this is a quote from Bloomberg. Yes, like the leading financial news mainstream tells us, they report that the People's Bank of China is now, this is interesting, is now using the Shanghai Gold Exchange to court central banks in friendly countries to buy bullion and store it within the country's borders. So China's getting all the other Asian countries to buy gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange and keep it within their borders. Said the people, who spoke on a condition of anonymity as the discussions aren't public. So this is top secret. Okay. The effort has taken place over recent months and has attracted interest from at least one country in Southeast Asia, the people said. Okay. But wait, there's even more. We will come back to China in a second. But what about, are you ready to be shocked? Okay. Are you an Indian woman? Are you from India? Are you a woman? If you are, you won't be shocked. But if you aren't an Indian woman, you're about ready to be shocked, because we know what's going on with the precious metals in India, in China. But I had no idea of this next statistic that has to do with gold and has to do with India and has to do with Indian women. Wait till you hear this. Let's just go right down to where I have, there's an Indian woman, 2 Indian women buying gold. Guys, this was shocking to me. Indian households are sitting on one of the world's largest untapped financial assets, physical gold. And women are at the heart of this glittering reserve. Chartered accountant Nitin Kaushik, in a recent post on X, revealed that Indian women alone hold nearly 11% of the world's gold, amounting to about 25,000 tons. That means for every 10 ounces of gold in the world right now, one of those 10 ounces, and actually a little bit more, is being held by an Indian woman in India. Guys, the world of precious metals is changing like never, ever before. China and India, right, 2 massively expanding economies, each with 1.4 billion people each, right? That's the reason why we can sit back and realize that the tailwinds for the gold market and the silver market are robust and will continue. Are you kidding me? Did you know that? Right? 1 out of 10 ounces of gold in the world right now are being held by Indian women. I know a few Indian women. My number one woman is upstairs, Susie, as you know, there with the walkie-talkie. But, right, and Indian people, and I have friends that are Indian, they love the precious metals. But the big part is those economies, hundreds of millions of people, literally, right, are becoming middle class, consumer class in those countries. And these are people that love the precious metals, on top of everything else, on top of the Chinese central bank, on top of the statistics we looked at for silver, which are absolutely stunning. Think about this. Okay, Buttercup? Think about silver alone. Think about silver. All the tech, all the electronic and tech demand that is solar demand, battery demand that is skyrocketing for silver. Think about the fact that investment demand has been like subpar, can only get better. Okay, so electronic demand going up, and then on top of that, you could have investment demand going up, and then on top of that, the big secret whopper that nobody else talks about, but I believe is going to. You watch. 9 months from now, all the other silver and gold YouTube people are be saying, "Oh my gosh, it took us by surprise that demand for jewelry for silver, which currently accounts for almost 1 in 5 every ounces of silver, 1 in 5, 20% that's demanded every year." A year from now, they're all going to be saying, and I could be wrong, and I eat my words all the time, but think of those three things for silver alone, right? Electronics, investment, and jewelry. That, like, all of them have the opportunity. They're already robust, but all three of those could create even more significant demand, increased demand as we go into the following weeks, months, quarters, and years. All right, let's move on. Chinese stock market is going crazy when it comes to gold and silver mining stocks. Let's check that out. Again, this comes from King Kong 9839888, but this is just from a few days ago. But today, both Shenzhen and Shanghai stock exchanges, am I sharing the right screen? Yes, had to halt trading because Chinese stock prices went up to their upper limits, okay? Especially the Chinese gold and silver miners. They gapped higher. Look, and that's the case here in the United States as well. The gold and silver mining stocks are just starting to take off. The reason why we want to pay attention to that, on top of the fact that you may be invested into some of those mining stocks, is as the generalist investors and Wall Street realize what opportunity there is within the precious metal mining stocks, that will bring more people, more eyeballs, more money into the entire gold and silver precious metals ecosystem. So it's going to be a wild ride, guys. Hey, we've got a bunch of Fed. Let's talk about the Fed. We got a bunch of Fed speakers this week. I had an article, but we aren't going to waste our time looking at it because you know what? The Fed is losing their potency. Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, really? Let's think about this. Take a step back. And there's a reason why they're losing their potency. And that's because silver and gold are calling their bluff, right? Silver and gold know the truth, which is demonstrated quite clearly by the fact that the price of both the metals continues to go up and up and up. Oh, I forgot. I got a big bonus for you. I do want to say thank you to First Mining Gold. They are a development stage gold mining company with 2 multi-million ounce projects in Canada. You can learn more about them at their website, firstmininggold.com. I'm actually going to have a discussion, an interview that I'll post in a few days with their CEO, Dan Wilton, so you can be looking forward to that. I forgot. Let's go back to silver. Okay, this is so exciting, right? Okay.
Check the price today too.
Oh, thank you, Susie. Everybody say hi to upstairs Susie. She wants me to check the price, which I will do. I forgot something so important about, for the third time, I'm going to tell you, demand from electronics for silver going up. Investment demand can pretty much only go up from here. And on top of that, jewelry demand can go up. But wait, there's more, right? There's more. Stable coins, right? Those they're a form of cryptocurrency, but we have a potential for big demand to come in from stable coins. Tether, the one that has the gold stable coin, XAUT, is now actually making big investments into gold mining companies because when they issue these stable coins, they must have the actual physical metal to back them up. There's like 1 token equals 1 ounce of gold, or 1 token equals 1 ounce of silver. So regardless whether you think or you like crypto or not, don't like crypto, as these precious metal stable coins, and in particular silver oriented stable coins, continue to become more and more popular, that will be another major source of demand for silver, and the same is true for gold as well. I don't know, man. I'm telling you. Where is he? There he is. Hold on. Right there. Remember the old silver bear? He's got a blindfold on that says $85. We're going to have a big party, and I think we might be having it sooner than we realize to take that blindfold off the bear. Upstairs, Susie requested that I go and check on the metals prices. So, tell you what, let's go. Here we go. We'll go to Kitco and share the right screen. And we will refresh. Wow. Okay, so gold is down $17, silver down 4 cents. Actually, a lot better than it was earlier. I mean, look, we're not going to have all green days in the price of the metals, guys. Remember that. I know we've been very spoiled over the last weeks and months, no doubt about it. There will be red days. That's okay. Nothing goes straight up like that. Anything that goes up in a jagged manner. The underlying facts, what we have going on in China, what we have going on in India. China is basically turning gold, right, into money. They're encouraging with the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Indian housewives own 11%, right? 11% of the world's gold. Look, we're in good shape. Okay. I appreciate you being here, being part of this wonderful, wonderful journey together. Please, again, subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, I want you to come back, right? Leave a comment. You don't have to agree with me. That's how we can learn from each other. This is a gold and silver community. We're here for each other. Take care of yourself, and I will see you, yes, you, next time.